I'm Brandon.
And I'm Mike.
And this is The Real Cine-Files. Thank you for joining us for our second episode. We are excited. We got a lot to cover, a lot we're going to discuss. This is a discussion show about movies and entertainment and how to disrupt a tornado. Yeah. Now we're going to talk about twisters and other fun things, and we're going to get into that. We actually just came from the movie, and we're excited to talk about it. But before we do, we're going to talk a little bit about some news. And I've been eager to talk to you about this, man. So, I guess, let's start with this. This week was a big week for series and on TV. Obviously, another new episode of Presumed Innocent on Apple, but more than anything, everybody's talking about the season finale of The Boys. And did you end up watching it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I did too. I'll just ask you, what did you think?
Overall the season was kind of messy, but the ending, I really didn't like it.
Okay. All right. Good. I don't feel so bad because I was a little disappointed as well.
Yeah.
I'll say this: it had more in it than all the episodes in between. It seemed like the season was like this. Like it started out with a bang, and then it was just a whole lot of filler.
Yeah.
And then the ending, there was a lot going on, a lot of action that you kind of crave, that you get used to looking for in that show. So it had all that, but it seemed like it was just like rushed.
Yeah, it was.
Did it seem kind of rushed to you?
Yeah.
It's like I knew that they were going to. I knew that Victoria Newman's character, she was doomed at a certain point that she was going to die. But it was almost like it went from, she gets outed as a soup to realizing she's going to be a puppet and a slave to Homelander to all of a sudden turning to the boys again for help. And then from that to she's dead. It was just like went so fast.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, I don't know. It didn't really do it for me.
And what was killing me was that Kimiko and Frenchie plot.
Yeah, what was up with that?
It's like they in like this whole yo-yo effect.
Yeah.
They in a relationship, then the next season they not in a relationship. It's just a whole yo-yo thing going on.
Yeah.
I just don't like that.
I didn't like it either. It just was anticlimactic to me. It wasn't something where I'm like, oh, they finally kissed. We're so satisfied.
And then they get taken away, and Frenchie get taken away. It's like, well, I can't really feel for that because y'all keep playing games.
Yeah.
Because I feel like next season they're not gonna be together.
No, it didn't hit those buttons for me. It really didn't. And then I'm like, what happened? She can all of a sudden speak? What was it? The kiss, the Frenchie kiss that unlocked her vocal cords? What am I supposed to do with that? It's like she could finally talk. It just, come on. And then look, what did you have to let it be the guy with the 20-foot dong that got mother's milk? He gets captured by the dong dude. Come on, that guy deserved better. He's a great character.
Yeah, he is.
And they brought him back from the other season. It just was like, I liked I liked Starlight being able to all of a sudden have her powers again, and then she flies away. That was kind of cool. But I guess it lets you get excited for season 5, which it's sad to say will be the final season.
Yeah.
But a lot's going to happen in that season, and I think it introduced a lot as well because with Ryan.
Yeah.
It kind of introduced him. It kind of exposed him as a potential new villain. It looked like it was revealing that side of him, him stepping in that direction by him killing Grace.
Yeah, that's like Booker was saying, all soups are soups and all soups are bad, so I have to eliminate them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He came in. He was no mess, no fuss, no nonsense. He just came in and just tore her in half, man. So I guess it finally revealed that it was his tumor that was had a V infused tumor that let him kill Ezekiel and then enabled him to kill her. So anyway, I've been wanting to talk about The Boys. I know we are the Real Cinephiles. We're here to talk about movies, but also all things entertainment. That includes series that are awesome. And The Boys, even though this was not their strongest season in my book, it's still a great show, and we're excited to see what happens with season 5. I do like them bringing the Gen V characters in a little bit more. That was kind of neat, and it has you looking forward to season 2 of Gen V as well.
I mean, it had its highlights, but a lot of it was based. This season was on that wow factor.
Yeah,
A lot of it, especially that one with what's the dude's name? Dark Knight. You remember when Huey was there in the basement?
Oh yeah, Tech Knight. Tech Knight.
Yes.
Yeah, the super perv. Yeah.
Yes, it's like
with the fetishes. Yeah, that was coming. Come on, man. The safe word is Zendaya. What the hell, man? Yeah. I mean, it's just funny. I mean, and honestly, I guess just a little bit more. You just bear with us, okay? If you're not a Boys watcher, and I'm assuming some of our audience are fans of the Boys. If you've never seen the show and you want to see something extremely shocking, if you were ever like a fan of the superhero genre, this is like the reverse superhero story. It's really great and really entertaining. So that's why we're talking about it so much. But what about that part where I think the thing that I had issues with the most was that you got this. I know she served a purpose, the firecracker chick, but I mean, she was supposed to represent the crazy extreme right. I mean, that was their major blow to exposing and satirizing the whole Republican Party. I mean, they had to poke fun and all that stuff, and she served that purpose or whatever. But I mean, I couldn't stand her. She was pointless. I mean, she could snap her fingers and there's a spark. That's her power. And she was just dumb. I mean, she just made me like irritated and frustrated and impatient with this season. I didn't like it. So anyway, moving on, The Boys season finale. It's worth a watch. So check it out if you haven't yet. We totally spoiled a bunch of it if you didn't catch on to that. So on to the other bit of news. Did you see the new Beetlejuice trailer?
Yes.
I mean, great, right?
Yeah, it does look great.
It has you looking forward to it more. It revealed more of the plot line.
But it has you wondering, like, is Beetlejuice going to be a hero or a villain?
It did. It looked to me like it was showing a little bit of him playing both sides.
Yeah.
Which would fit well with the character and the storyline. I mean, because he's the I mean, I guess in a weird kind of horror comedy sort of way, he's like the anti-hero. He may be revealed as the anti-hero in the second one.
I guess he could be neutral, but to me, I think he might still be the villain.
I mean, he probably is in the end. That would be the great, turn. But I like that it showed a little bit more of Jenna Ortega's character, Lydia's daughter, her, and how she's going to fit into the story. So that was kind of neat because I think in the trailer it revealed Winona Ryder's character, Lydia. She was the one that summoned him first in the trailer, wasn't it?
On the first trailer, yeah, she said Beetlejuice 3 times.
Yeah.
But on the second trailer, her mom said Beetlejuice 3 times.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Lydia, the mom.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Winona Ryder. It showed her in this second trailer doing it, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, obviously she's trying to summon him for help.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I can't wait. And it, brings up the conversation of Lego sequels. That term's been, tossed around a lot lately. And for good reason, because this is a year for Lego sequels. You've got Beetlejuice coming out very soon. Then you've got Gladiator 2 in October or November, I believe. And so two big Lego sequels to two great IPs, two great movies. The original Beetlejuice in 1988 and Gladiator in 2000 and whatever, 1 or 2. And great. I mean it's exciting. And then the one we just saw, which we're about to talk about, Twisters. And I guess the question is, and I would like to hear your thoughts on this before we skip to that part, would you consider Twisters a Lego sequel? Because, and by Lego sequel, already used the buzzword. Obviously, it just means it's a continuation, a sequel to the original story where, the timeline is considered, there's been a time span between then and now. and so it's a continuation, not of the same story, but like it is conscious and aware of the previous story. You get what I'm saying? So then obviously Beetlejuice is going to be that, and so is Gladiator 2. They're very much, calling to mind and referencing stuff from the original movies. So do you feel Twisters was that as well?
I wouldn't call it a sequel. I would just say it play off the nostalgic value of the old movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's a standalone, obviously.
Yeah,
Doesn't mention any of the old characters.
Yeah, it's standalone.
But the reason why I ask if you might consider it a Lego sequel is it does, pay homage to the original in the fact that it mentions Dorothy. That their machine in the beginning is called Dorothy. So
yeah, I pay homage. That's what I'm saying. It just play on that nostalgic thing.
I guess it maybe isn't enough to consider it a sequel. I mean, it's just a standalone movie that I guess considers the previous movie. But I don't know. It makes me wonder if they were intending for it to be a Lego sequel. I don't know.
Because a sequel, you would have to have like some of the original characters. To me, in my opinion.
I guess, yeah. And I'm not going to lie, I thought they were totally going to do that whole thing where it was a cameo from one of the previous characters. I thought it was going to be a big reveal, and it was going to be Helen Hunt's character, Jo, that she was going to be the mom to the main character, Kate. I thought for sure that was going to be it, but it was somebody else who was the mom, so I was wrong. But I will tell you this, I did call that scene when she left in an angry rage. She was going to see her mom, but anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. It's a year for Lego sequels, even if Twisters was not a Lego sequel. So then the other bit of news, they just dropped this past week the first trailer for Captain America: Brave New World, which brings up a lot of thoughts and feelings because it's Marvel. But let me ask you, what did you think of the trailer?
It looked pretty good.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah.
Were you kind of surprised that it looked as good as it did?
Well,
I was.
I'm not surprised. I mean, all the Captain America movies were good.
They were all good. And this is exciting because it reveals a little bit more. I don't know. I guess it kind of shows, well, obviously it reveals that, you got Harrison Ford now as Colonel Ross, right?
That was like the president.
Yeah, he's the president, but what he was, Colonel Ross, isn't he? Isn't he taking over for William Hurt's character?
Okay, that's why most people must have mentioned the Red Hulk.
Yep, yeah, because he's going to end up being Red Hulk.
Okay.
And that's why they call him Thunderbolt Ross.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess he's the president now, but he was just Colonel Ross.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was exciting, and you got Harrison Ford in that part. So that's
what was the name of that movie he played in, where he was the president stuck on?
Air Force One.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
so
great
I was
movie.
Thinking that's like I'll play on that.
Yeah, actually, that's kind of funny. I mean, he's got the role of president down. He nailed it before. He'll nail it for Marvel as well.
Yeah.
So, but there's a lot going on in it. It obviously directly connected to different things in the storyline of Falcon and Winter Soldier, showing the one super soldier that came in and attacked the president.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. Isaac, I think it was. I don't remember. He yelled his name in the trailer, but it looks like a lot is going on, and it's
So who your boy playing the black guy? He's supposed to be the villain guy you was telling me about.
Oh my gosh, yes.
You forgot all about him.
Yeah, Giancarlo Esposito, who I love in everything. He's the villain, and it reveals him as the villain in Captain America: Brave New World. It doesn't really show much of him though, which is great because it's intriguing and it's enticing, and it once you leaves you coming back for more. Definitely want to see what happens with him. But I mean, you can't get a better person to play the villain than that guy. I mean, he's incredible. I like him in everything, but his character in Breaking Bad was unbelievable. Just one of the most amazing performances I've ever seen from any character, much less a bad guy. He makes you feel all kinds of stuff. I've never felt like I wanted to love, hate, respect, adore, kill one person all at once. And that's the way his performances are. That's how. Anyway, so he's going to be great for that. So Captain America: Brave New World. I don't know that it can save Marvel, but I think it's a step in the right direction of getting it kind of course corrected. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
It looks like it could be.
Well, Deadpool gonna do that next week.
That's what I'm. That was my next exact sentence, man. Did you watch the new final trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine dropped this week as well? Did you watch it?
No, I'm already sold, so I don't have.
Oh, you don't even have to see it, right? You almost don't want to see anything else, right? Well, they
Yeah.
revealed even more surprises in the new one, the final trailer. I mean, they did a reveal of Lady Deadpool. They showed the daughter of Logan from the movie Logan.
Yeah, I
She
heard.
came back in it. I mean, it looks so good, and I like. Obviously, there's gonna be a lot of levity to the movie. It's gonna be tons of laughs. But this particular trailer, the final one, it showed a lot more of the seriousness and the stakes.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like it was really intense. And I can't wait. Next week, Deadpool and Wolverine, will definitely be seeing it, and we'll definitely be talking about it. And, I mean, you don't even have to guess. You know 100% that is going to be a huge success at the box office.
It's Deadpool.
I mean, it's...
Like you said, he the Marvel Jesus.
That was so great. That was great. Say no more, right?
Yeah.
I gotta say something though. I gotta do this. I gotta do this for the sake of loyalty and passion. I've got to out you here, Mike. Do you mind if I do it?
You can out me.
Ladies and gentlemen, this man right here, my friend, my co-host, has not seen Deadpool and Deadpool 2. I know. Makes you want to stone him right now. Do you have a stone on the other side? I mean, yeah. Well, I will say this, and I'm gonna make him promise on this episode that this week, so that he's ready to see Deadpool and Wolverine. I mean, it should, I'm sure that it made you this, but it definitely should have made you, just seeing the first trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine, it should have made you all the more want to see the first two. Did it?
I mean, like, the reason I haven't watched them because I was burnt out, you know.
Right.
Watching
And I
all
knew
those Marvel movies.
I knew the position you were in, and I think
Yeah.
I did have a very long, like, soapbox rant with him, ladies and gentlemen, where I explained the majesty of what Marvel accomplished, climaxing Phase 3 the way that they did with Infinity War and Endgame. So I sold him on that, and I think I've sold him on watching Deadpool and Deadpool 2. And
I'm gonna probably watch Deadpool, but I don't know about Infinity.
okay, well, we'll revisit that. I mean, that's a conversation for another time because, oh my gosh, Infinity War and Endgame. I mean, just those two coupled together, just what? Oh my gosh! But you, as long as you watch Deadpool 1, I can accept that. I mean, I cannot in good conscience go see Deadpool and Wolverine with you if you haven't seen Deadpool 1, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch them. I'm gonna watch 'em.
So,
It's
this week.
it's just that with the Infinity movies, it's just, you know what they did with the Hulk. Hulk is my guy, and they ruined him. I'm sorry, I can't watch because of that. They ruined him.
I mean, he was a great character, and I mean, you didn't even see how great he was in Thor Ragnarok, and he was.
I'm sorry, bro.
He was kind of. It's okay. I accept it. I'm hurt, but I can accept it. I still liked it. There were mixed feelings about what they did with him, making him Smart Hulk and Endgame, but it was still good. It fit. Now, obviously, what they did from there, as far as his appearances and the other series, and the Lady Hulk or whatever. I don't even remember what the name of the show was.
I would have took Joe Fixit over Professor Hulk any day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at least Joe Fixit a gangster,
Yeah.
not some wimp.
Yeah, I mean, it was still good. I mean, it was good for some really funny moments in Endgame, which you'll see and you'll know what I'm talking about when you finally watch them. But at least you're watching Deadpool this week, so I'm super excited about Deadpool and Wolverine. I believe that movie is going to definitely it has the potential to fix a lot, not everything, but to kind of get the Marvel boat, the Marvel ship level again. And even if it doesn't, it's going to stand alone as a great movie. Just like Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was an excellent movie, but it couldn't save Marvel. But
I'm gonna check that one out.
oh my gosh, I can't believe you haven't seen
check
that.
that one
Yeah,
out.
you got to see that one. So, but Deadpool and Wolverine next week. I can't wait. I'm excited. So a lot of great things. It's a year for good sequels. I will say that. So before we go any further, I just want to let you guys know. We'll probably mention it again at the end. This is The Real Cinephiles. And you can find us on YouTube, which some of you are watching the episode right now on YouTube. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. You can also find us on Facebook. Give our page a like there as well. And we're on most all of the other podcast platforms. We are on Amazon, iHeart, Spotify. There's a few more. I can't. It's escaping me right now, but definitely check us out, especially Spotify. We'd love to for you to show some love on our Spotify. But don't forget on YouTube to like, subscribe, and share the video, especially if you like it. And we really appreciate that. So we're excited. This is our second episode. And without further ado, we're going to get into Twisters. We literally just came from watching it. And let's talk about it. Let me just go ahead and get this part out of the way. Twisters. Directed by Lee Isaac Chung. This is the summary. It's haunted by a devastating encounter with a tornado. Kate Cooper, played by Daisy Edgar Jones, gets lured back to the open plains of Oklahoma by her friend Javi, played by Anthony Ramos, to test a groundbreaking new tracking system. She soon crosses paths with Tyler Owens, played by Glenn Powell, a charming but reckless social media superstar who thrives on posting his storm-chasing adventures. As storm season intensifies, Kate, Tyler, and their competing teams fight for their lives as multiple systems converge over central Oklahoma. Now, for these first few minutes, it will be spoiler-free, but we are going to get into a very much spoiler zone conversation, but we'll let you know when that happens. I'm going to wave my hand like that, and you'll know that's the spoiler sign. Just kidding. I'll probably do this hand. Just kidding. Anyway, so Mike, Twisters, what did you think, man?
I thought it was an okay movie. It was, I mean, I'm going to just say good. It wasn't great, but it was good.
Okay, good. All right.
I mean, those tornadoes, I don't know if they was like real tornado shots, but they were beautiful.
I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, those were just in absolutely incredible visual effects is what they were.
Yeah, they was.
So I made a stupid joke on my trailer when I talked about how the original Twisters, they filmed real tornadoes. I bet somebody believed me when I did that, but I was totally joking if you watched that trailer. But yeah, incredible visual effects. I got to say, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I'm going to say this. I thought it was really good, maybe almost great. Just because it's what you want, in my opinion. It's what you want in a summer blockbuster. I can only speak for myself here, but we don't see these movies. I don't see these movies for the super in-depth plot lines or the intellectually invigorating story. We don't really see it for that. I mean, you want to see a decent enough story, but you're seeing this for the action and the adventure and the intensity of it all. And so my expectations in regard to, the stories of these kind of movies, they're not super, super high, but I did think for what it was, I thought the story is as simple as it was, and it's been done before. I thought it was good. I thought the story was good.
Well, the story was good. It was just that, a lot of plot conveniences, in that first scene when the tornado was coming, she said the tornado behind us, and then
do that impersonation again?
The tornado was behind us, and they get out the truck, and the tornado behind them, right?
Right.
And they taking their time getting the stuff loose. And it took the tornado time to even catch up to him. I'm okay, that's plot armor to me. So there was a lot of plot armor going on in the movie that, these tornadoes coming and y'all just chilling outside, no panic. They just chilling. It was silly to me.
It was kind of crazy.
Silly.
But, it was just most of this stuff's not very realistic. You've got, well, let me just kind of tell you a little bit more about the movie before we get into spoiling it. But this is very much the first movie, it was more of, studying the tornadoes, gathering information to learn what they can to give better, warnings. There'd be more time between when the tornado hits a certain area and the time that you get warned about it. It was about studying the tornado, and this was more about disruption of a tornado, which, it's totally made up science. I mean, I would imagine they sure sold it pretty good for what it was, as far as the made up science part, especially with it being, diaper fill, as the stuff that was the absorbent of the stuff that they would, loose up into the tornado. But so it was a different concept to me, because it was a little bit more, the stakes were a little bit higher to me, because they're literally trying to not only get better reads on the tornado with that state-of-the-art, tracking system, but it was also like actually getting in the tornado to try and stop it, to collapse it is the term that they used. That made the story so much more exciting to me. And I guess I have to say that I guess I kind of had a little bit more on the line with it. It made me kind of identify with it more and appreciate it more, since I had actually lived in Oklahoma for a little while.
Yeah.
And, I know this is a bias thing, but it made me like the movie even more, because I got emotional when there was a scene at a rodeo in Stillwater, Oklahoma, where I lived.
Yeah.
And I still got friends up there now that may be watching this episode. Hey there. I mean, that was just really cool to me. That and then I drove on the road with those windmill things.
Yeah.
Are those like power generator things? I don't even know what those are.
Yeah, that's what power.
But it was kind of neat seeing a couple scenes in this movie where I'd actually been. It was just really neat. But I definitely have never been there and seen anything like outbreak, like a whole infestation of multiple tornadoes like they were dealing with.
But I mean, it hit close to home here, because like a couple months ago we had 3 F2s here, so
which is crazy.
Yes.
I mean, you don't hear about tornadoes hitting in Tallahassee very often.
So every time it rained, I get kind of scared. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Where do you hide, Mike? I want to picture it right now. But yeah, it was a good movie. It was a good. I mean, it just depends on kind of your expectation level when you're watching it. It was, there were some different. I mean, there's some things in it that were just the typical trope in a disaster movie like this, and this obviously brings up a whole conversation about other disaster movies. But so before I go any further, I'm going to announce right now that the next bit of this conversation about Twisters will be a spoiler zone. So if you do not want to have it spoiled for you, you might want to check out right now and then come back to this portion once you have seen the movie. I do recommend going to see it. I think it's worth a watch, don't you?
Yeah, it's worth a watch.
It was definitely cool to see it in Dolby and kind of feel the sound and the vibrations of the seats, the sound moving through you. Like Nicole Kidman says at the beginning, irritatingly enough, in the beginning of every movie, the sound moving through me. Oh my gosh. I kind of mock that whole sequence now every time that we go to a movie. But anyway, it's just so this is a spoiler part, but we recommend you going to see the movie. It's we want you to go back to the theaters, watch movies. It's what it's all about. So okay, so I want to hear your thoughts on. Well, I will say this. I thought that Lee Isaac Chung did a very good job with this movie. He's working with what he's got, and I'm not really sure who wrote the story, but it wasn't the most creative. It was kind of typical, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
You could see the obvious thing that was going to happen between Glenn Powell's character Tyler and Daisy Edgar Jones' character Kate, and that part was kind of. Oh, I see where this is going. They have this playful little "I don't like you" kind of thing to flirting to then, oh my gosh, we're so alike. You actually are not an R-worded person. You're not a moron. You're actually a real person. Yeah. He knows his stuff, and they were more alike than they realized. And then they build this. He helps her build the model, and that was kind of a thing. It's like. Did you notice that kind of dynamic where it was she's the female, she created this thing, but she doesn't quite have it right, so the man's gonna help her come in and fix her project so that it worked. It just seemed kind of like that was kind of funny, but
hey, but in the end, she stole his thunder though.
Oh, she straight up did. Now that was hardcore. That was like, I mean, talking about pro feminist storm chaser. She's the hero type thing. I'm telling you right now. Happen. Listen, that was great. I mean, she did. I don't think they saw that coming at all.
I didn't see that coming either. I thought they both was gonna roll into the storm together.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking like, okay, y'all know the storm coming towards the town. Why do y'all just go back?
Yeah. Yeah.
And try to disrupt the storm.
Yeah.
But they went into town to help everybody.
Yeah.
And
some silly stuff, man.
That's what I'm saying. There was a lot of things in the plot that was kind of stupid. Like, even with the plot convenience, you remember the truck turned over?
Yeah.
And then something came and hit it and turned it back. I was like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. Yeah, and then, of course, at the very beginning, when they had the first trailer with the barrels on it, with the diaper fill in it, that one tipped over, and they, like, lifted it up with ease. Like, they couldn't even budget at all, and then the dude finds, like, a broken signpost, and he uses it for leverage, and it just popped right over. I mean, it's like, come on. It's like, but, I mean, we don't watch the movies for that kind of stuff.
I know we don't. But I had to take points off.
Yeah, it points are off it for sure.
Cheesy,
points are off of it for sure for that. But I mean, this is what I kept seeing when she grabbed the truck and she went and did her thing. I just kept picturing her. She's thinking about what Tyler said at the rodeo. You don't face your fears, you ride them. So she's like literally going to ride her fears. She's like, I'm gonna finally ride my fears and get over this trauma from what happened at the beginning of the movie. Because I mean, this movie had a stacked cast. You had Daryl McCormick. You had Kieran Shipka, and that other guy I've never seen before. But then you had all these other people. You had David Cornsweet. You had Katie O'Brien.
His name is Cornsweet? What?
Yes, that's the guy that's playing the new Superman. His name's David Cornsweet. Yeah. Some people are calling him Corn Sweeper or something. I don't even remember where the origin of that is. But, I mean, it was a stat cast. But you had, two of them. They get wiped out in the first 10 minutes of the damn movie.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like, what?
More plot convenience.
Definitely. So, and I got to say this, man. It was a lot of fun. And I will say this. We haven't even talked about it. For what it was, you're not really, there's so much going on. You're not really, I don't think, overly conscious of, or you don't have your finger to the pulse of the quality of the performances in a movie like this. At least I don't, because I'm so caught up in what's going on. But I did actually kind of plug in a little bit more than I thought I would. And I thought for an action and adventure movie that the quality and the substance of the performances were not lost. I thought they did a great job.
Yeah, it was good.
Especially the scene in the barn where she's getting very vulnerable.
Yeah.
And reveals everything and crying. I mean, the girl, she's got chops, acting chops. So, she's not been in a whole lot of stuff, but she's getting bigger and bigger, I think. She was in Where the Crawdads Sing, which was kind of a letdown. And she was in the, incredible series on Hulu called Normal People. It's incredible. It's her, and she stars with Paul Mescal, who is the main character in the new Gladiator 2. Okay. The guy that you see bending down with his fingers in the dirt.
I haven't watched the trailer.
You haven't seen the trailer of Gladiator 2? Oh, my gosh.
You know how people, they ruin stuff for you.
Yeah, they do.
The internet ruins stuff.
Yeah, you guys, that's why I don't read the fools, man. I want to go in there. I want to watch it and form my own opinion. You need to go see Gladiator 2 to trailer.
Denzel Washington going to be in it.
He is in it. That's enough reason, man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and I think he's like the dude that plays, like, if I could tell, it seems like he's taken the place of the guy, the Proximo character, who kind of like runs the games, the gladiators.
Okay.
I think he's playing that role, from what I can tell in the trailer. I could be wrong.
So is it a sequel?
I'm sure somebody will say something in the comments.
It's a sequel?
It's a sequel. It's absolutely a sequel. It's a continuation of the story.
All right.
And I don't remember. I'm blanking out here, but I want to say that I think Connie Nielsen is in it. She played Commodus. Commodus's wife. No, sister. I'm ridiculous. The sister of Commodus.
Okay.
The really pretty, elegant woman.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I think she's in this one. No, I don't remember if I saw her in the trailer. Anyway, I'm digressing. But back to what I was saying. Daisy Edgar-Jones, incredible performance. Glenn Powell, he's getting like, I mean, he's that dude right now. I mean, he got a lot of, attention from his role in Top Gun Maverick. He played in Devotion with, I cannot believe I'm forgetting his name. The guy, Jonathan Majors. What's wrong with me?
Jonathan Majors?
Yeah, he played in a movie with Jonathan Majors called Devotion. And
Okay.
it was actually really good. Nothing great, but really good. And of course, he was in a number of movies that were. He was in Everybody Wants Some and Hitman, which is on Netflix. I don't know if you've seen Hitman on Netflix, but you need to watch it. It's incredible. But the point is Glenn Powell's like getting a lot of roles, and he's blowing up, man. He may be that people are talking about him being the new Tom Cruise. You never know. But I like him. I like him in mostly everything.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, it's going to take a while to get to that point. And obviously, he's not like jumping out of making jumps with parachutes or whatever.
Yeah, Tom Cruise, that dude, man.
Yeah. Oh, he's incredible. He's incredible. This guy, he's got the potential. This guy has got the potential to be a big superstar, is what I'm saying, basically. People are always going to be premature and compare him to somebody else. I'm not saying I subscribe to that, and he's his own person, own individual, and let him make his own legacy. But I definitely think he's a great actor and is showing his chops, and he did good in Twisters, man. So anything else about the movie before we get into ripping a little bit?
Let me see.
Did you see Minari? Lee Isaac Chung's other movie?
Minari.
With Stephen Yeun?
Mm-mm.
Okay. It's kind of a slower movie. It's a family drama, but it was a really, really good movie. He's a good director. I'm looking to see, whatever he does next. I'm definitely interested. But Twisters, great performances, good movie, enjoyable. What you expect from a summer blockbuster. It's, you're not going to walk out of it and feel like you have new ideas and a new lease on life or anything like that. You may want to go try and chase a tornado, though. It's a thought. I wouldn't recommend it, though.
Oh, shit, we say wrangle a tornado.
Wrangle a tornado, yeah. Tornado wranglers. That was funny on that shirt, though. It said, "It's not my first tornado."
Yeah.
It'll play on the rodeo word. So,
I'm surprised you never went to the rodeo.
Yeah, I guess I was kind of lame. I didn't really do a whole lot of fun stuff when I was in Oklahoma. I will say it's a beautiful area, wide open plains and meadows, man. I'm just glad that I saw a lot of snow, which is unexpected. I saw more snow than I did tornado-type weather, which is kind of wild. But, okay, well, before we move on, the verdict on Twisters. I'm going to go ahead and say, if you're looking for a good time, not too terribly compelling of a story, but good enough to kind of hook you and keep you, pull you along or whatever, and enjoy it along the way and the different turns and twists, I would say go see it. It's a good movie, worth watching. I don't really think there's anything else I could say about it. What about you?
Well, if you're looking to see a fun summer blockbuster, I say go see it. I give it like a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
It's not perfect.
Yeah, 7 out of 10. That sounds fair. Let's see what I'll give it. I'll give it a... Let's see. I'm going to give it a 7.823. Yeah, I mean, not quite an 8. I want to give it an 8, but I want to be realistic and fair here. So 7.823, that is my final verdict on the rating. So Twisters, go see it. I got to say this, though. I wrote this down so I'd remember, because I can't remember jack squat anymore these days. It has nothing to do with my age at all. But I hate it when you have a movie like this that's exciting and you've got to either go use the bathroom or do something else, like get a refill. Well, I had to leave because I had a hankering for some popcorn. The chicken tenders just wasn't quite enough, and I needed to refill my drink. So I'm like, I'm going to quickly, this seems like a good dead spot to go get the popcorn and refill my drink. So I left to go do that. Little did I know that I would encounter the most personalityless and slow concession guy I've ever encountered in my life. Okay, so I went up there there was no line, thankfully. I went straight up there, and all I wanted was the kids pack because I don't want a big popcorn, okay? Maybe somebody's watching this can identify with the struggle. If I get a regular size or large size popcorn, it's just too much. So, I mean, the kid-size popcorn is like the perfect amount of popcorn. So I just wanted a kids pack. So I said, I would like a kids pack, which comes with a small drink, some fruit snacks, and that little popcorn I was talking about, okay? So I tell the guy, I want just the popcorn and the fruit snacks. You can keep the box, you can keep the drink. And he looked at me like I was asking him to reinvent the wheel. Like I was asking him to fix something or create some new invention. Like he looked very confused. Like it messed up, it disrupted his whole thing. And I said, is that okay? Can you just give me the popcorn and the fruit snacks? He's like, no, I'm supposed to give you the whole thing, the box with the drink and everything. I was like, no, but I don't, I see this cup I have right, this large cup, I already have a drink. I just want the popcorn and the fruit snacks. No, I have to give you the whole thing. I'll get in trouble if I don't give you the cup. And I mean, so the dude, I said, okay, just whatever, man. He's like, yeah, you can just take it and throw it away after I give it to you. I was like, oh my gosh. So he leaves, he grabs the popcorn, and he goes around the corner to get the stuff to fill the kids pack in the box. Takes forever. Comes around, gives me the box with the popcorn in it and the fruit snacks. And he was back there rummaging to find the small cup for the drink that I already said I don't need. But he has to give it to me or he's going to be in trouble, but yet he can't find it. He gives me the box. It doesn't even have the drink in it. And he's like, it took all that time. And I just look at him like, really, dude? I mean, I don't know how long I was gone. It felt like forever. Probably was like 4, 5.
Probably looked in your eye. You didn't want it anyways.
I mean, golly, it was just crazy. So I went through that. I don't think I missed much in the movie, but that was an interesting, not so high note in the experience tonight. So I just had to share that with everybody. I don't know if anybody else deals with that. So it does make me, I do have to, while we're on it, I know we're going to move past this, but look, let's just talk about the 2 lines at the concessions, can we? Has anybody seen this? They don't have this at CMX. I haven't seen it at the Regal or Carmike theaters or anything like that. It's only at AMC that I know of. But they have the 2 lines for concessions. I know Mike's just like, would you just not talk about this? I have to talk about this. This is therapy for me. You are helping me with therapy. Let me get this out. So you've got 2 concession lines at AMC. Okay? You've got the regular line. Okay? We're going to call that the line for all the poors. Yeah, all the poor people. We'll call it the poor people line. It's the regular people line. That's how I look at it. It's so funny. And then they have another line for if you are an A-list member, meaning you pay a monthly subscription fee to come to the movies and get discounts on concessions. So it's just funny. They've created this concept where you have this line that you get to go first. So if you're in the A-list line, technically all the concession people have to skip the people in the poor line and let you go first. I don't know if you knew this or not, but that's what that line is for.
Oh, I thought lines was lines.
He's been going and just getting at whatever the closest line was. I've been wanting to explain this though for a while. So this is what it is. So you got the A-list member line and then you got the poor people regular line, right? But it's so funny to watch how this unfolds because I don't think that the business model for this is the best. It's not a great idea because you've created this major division and disparity issue between people, and it's so funny to watch the concession people and they're looking at the people in the line, in the regular line, and they're looking at the people in the A-list line, and they're in this position of, oh my God, I have to let these people go before these other people that have been waiting for freaking ever. I mean, it's so funny to watch the expression on their faces because it's like, this is not a good idea at all. And I mean, you know, somebody's going to get pissed no matter what. But it's so funny because I don't know what it is about it, but every time I'm in the front of the A-list line and I get there and I'm watching the other line, the poor line, and I'm watching them come along and I see this person that's been standing in line forever, has already gotten passed over by multiple people, and then I'm next and I see the concession person right there and they look at me in the eyes and they look at the other guy in the eyes and I know I'm first, so I'm claiming my A-list, you know, perks. and I go straight up in front of the person, and I see the guy, and he looks at me, and I can tell he's so mad. I just skipped him. It's like when you were in school, elementary school. Do you remember when you got skipped? You got line skipped?
Yeah.
It was the most depressing thing in the world. But I have to confess this openly on our channel to all our fans, and hopefully they won't check out after I say this, but it's something about skipping the dude in the pour line. I just felt better about myself. I don't know what it is. So it's the movies, man. The movie theaters and my A-list membership at AMC, it makes me feel better about life and myself. I get to skip people, and I get this feeling of fulfillment. It's just, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna stop.
Hey,
but yeah,
he in the poor. I'm supposed to be in the poor people line.
Yeah, y'all been basically
in the A-list line.
He's been piggybacking off of my A-list membership, man.
My money is green as everybody else.
Hey, it's the truth. It's been funny though. I never explained it to you, but it's so funny. But because you're with me though, it's almost like I'm like a member. I'm like a member of the club.
Hey, and
I get you in. I know, right? It's great, dude. I love it.
Either line they're gonna ask you, do you have a membership?
Yeah, it's in a sense like when you see that scene in the movie where the guy goes in the back door of the club and they let him in because he's a special guest. That's what y'all are doing with me. I'm just taking y'all in the club. What's up? Shut up. Anyway, so we're going to move past this. Let's just talk about this for a second because we got another segment before we do our 6 degrees of movie bacon, of Kevin Bacon. We're still not sure about the name, but, Twisters is a disaster movie, and it brings up, the conversation briefly about all the other many disaster movies. And we're not going to do the typical thing that you would expect, where we're going to have the top 10 disaster movies of all time. Like, here's the thing. If you go Google disaster movies, there is a shit ton of them that come up there. And the truth is, if you look at disaster movies as a whole, and I know you agree with me on this, some of them are fun, some of them are okay, some of them are good. But really, if you look at it, at that genre as a whole, they're really not good movies. Yeah. Most of them. They're not. Yeah. I mean, let's just be honest. Armageddon's a fan favorite. I mean, of course I loved it. I was in high school when it came out. I could talk stories for days. But, I mean, listen. It was stupid, man.
Yeah, is that the one with the...
where they get the oil drillers and they train them to be astronauts rather than like what Ben Affleck said, which is, why don't you go get astronauts and train them how to drill?
Yeah.
I mean, that would have made a whole lot more sense. But anyway, you disaster movies. So I'm really more just going to rip them, the way that they were even released. Let's just talk about that for a second. If you look at it, you got Deep Impact, which came out in May of 19...
Basically Armageddon.
Yeah, it's the same thing. They were like the competing different ideas that were pretty much the same thing. So you had Deep Impact that came out in May of 98, and then Armageddon in July of 98. And it was just funny because they're both the same concept, but it's like one of them was more in the realm of realistic, and the other one was just like completely outlandish. You know what I mean? But then they did the same thing the year before. You dealing with volcanoes. You had Dante's Peak, which came out in February of 97. And then you had Volcano that came out in April of 97. And one of them's like completely outlandish, and the other one is just like somewhere within the realm of possibility or potentially being realistic or whatever. And if you didn't know what I'm talking about, probably everybody's seen these disaster movies, but Dante's Peak was with Pierce Brosnan and Linda Hamilton, and then you had Volcano with Tommy Lee Jones and Anne Heche, and then everybody knows the stacked cast on Armageddon, and then Deep Impact with Morgan Freeman and Téa Leoni. But it was just kind of funny to me because, it's like they were doing an experiment. Let's see what it's like to do the asteroid hitting Earth story where we make it actually hit and kill everybody. Except for maybe the people that get to go in the bunker. And then let's like save the whole world, but kill Bruce Willis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, disaster movies, they're just kind of, whatever.
They all the same.
They pretty much are all the same. But I think it's worth talking about, the original Twister, we both just watched it again, just to be refreshed on it. It came out in 1996, and it wasn't the greatest movie, but it's kind of what started the whole like disaster movie revolution, really. It's kind of like, in my opinion, the high watermark of what started it all, because it was the first movie since Jurassic Park in 1993 that really displayed what you could do with visual effects.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was incredible. I was watching it when I was finishing watching it on Max earlier. Those were really good cutting edge visual effects like back then. I mean, it holds up pretty good to today.
Yeah, it does.
And so that was pretty neat. But I remembered watching that, and I was about to start my sophomore year, turning 16, and we went to see Twister at the Miracle 5 Theater.
Yeah.
In Tallahassee. Do you remember the Miracle 5?
Dude, I was born in 92.
Oh my God! Why do you have to keep stabbing me with these?
I mean,
these hits to my age, man.
Darn near a dinosaur. I mean.
Well, let me tell. Oh my God! Damn it, Mike. Listen, I gotta tell you, Miracle 5. I mean, it was no AMC. It was no big, whatever theater. But Miracle 5 was. It was awesome. It was, if you couldn't guess, the 5 meant they had 5 movies playing at all time at 5 theaters, and that was, I don't know why, I don't know what was going on, but Twister was playing. Twister was a big blockbuster movie, and I guess every now and then they would get one of those. But typically, Miracle 5 showed indie flicks, independent films.
Yeah.
Those real, that would play at Cannes Film Festival or Tribeca or Sundance. Just independently produced films. Like, back, it would be what you would consider like what A24 is today.
Yeah.
Like, they would be showing all the A24 movies. And I don't know why Twister was playing there, but that was where we went and saw it. And I remember those were the days, man, because that was when, I'm just going to confess, statute of limitations is passed. Back then, I loved going in the theater and then leaving one movie and going into another movie. Listen, Mike, I don't know if you ever experienced it, but there's nothing like going movie hopping in a theater for an entire day. If you have not done it, you need to go do it. I promise you. Ignore the fact that there's actually a real security guy with a gun posted up at the theater now. Ignore him. You can get right past him. You can take him.
Only movie hop one time.
Tell me about it.
And it was that time my dad wanted to see Joe Dirt.
Oh, yes, Joe Dirt.
And, we was all kids. And it was that one scene in the beginning where the dog balls was stuck to the porch. And my mom looked at him and was like, nah, we got to go see something else.
She couldn't take it?
No.
Oh, man, that was great.
We was kids at the time, so she was like, nah, we got to see
No, this is inappropriate, Michael. We've got to go to another movie.
But it was a great movie, though.
Oh, yeah, that's hilarious. Joe Dirt?
Yes, a great movie.
Oh, yeah. That was awesome. You're bringing back memories there. But anyway, theater hopping was great. I got to tell you this, too, before we go on to this other thing. I got to tell you, man, I had a really ghetto fabulous time, a little phase that I went through. I'm not gonna lie. When I was poor, or struggling or whatever, no matter what my lifestyle was, movies remained steadfast, and my addiction to them remained steadfast. Even if I had no money in the bank, I could remember getting friends to sneak me in the back door of the theater. I mean, I did some ghetto junk, man. Listen, it was so bad that I would go in the... Oh my God, I'm saying too much. I'm going to say it anyway. I would go, I didn't do it a lot, but there were some times I would go in the trash and I would find a large cup and I would go in the bathroom and I would clean the cup as best I could. And I would go have my Coke, which I no longer drink. And I would do the same with the popcorn, Mike.
I would have never told nobody that.
Did I just say this? Oh my God.
Dumpster dive.
I dumpster dived at the theater. Oh my God. Yeah, and I went back with that popcorn thing, and I would get a bag. I was so I was dedicated to this, man. I would get the popcorn bag with a little bit of popcorn left in it, and I would take it to the concession guy, and I would say, "Yeah, I need a refill, but could you just dump that out and give me all fresh popcorn?" I mean, I was in it, bro. Listen, that was it. Anyway, I don't know why I wanted to share that. Maybe I needed to get it off my chest, man. Confession brings healing, as they say. Anyway. But yeah, just disaster movies, a lot of fond memories. I'm waxing nostalgic when I think about it. those were the times, man. I'm coming up in high school. All these movies came out during that span of time, man, from like 15 to 20,
Then you want to talk about the greatest disaster movie of all time?
Oh, I know you're going to say it before me, aren't you? Say it. Sharknado, baby. It's right there, man. That was the greatest segue ever. Listen, man. I mean, do we need to say anything more? I mean, Sharknado. Twister has got nothing on Sharknado. Twisters? No. I mean, what if they came out, they have a Sharknado 1, 2, 3, and 4, maybe even a 5, I don't know, but what if they did away with all of them and did a reboot and just did Sharknados? Sharknados, man. I mean, who came up with this idea that a tornado is going to go over the water and suck up some sharks and bring it on land and kill everybody? I mean, that's just some amazing, creative, imaginative thinking for a story. I mean, listen, I'm not going to lie. I saw it, and it's, I don't know what you would call it, like a guilty pleasure over something that's just so garish and ridiculous. But, I mean, it's like you love it for how terrible it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I really thoroughly enjoyed Sharknado, but it's a horrid thing. Like, it should have never been made, ever. But, oh my God, I'm so glad it did get made. Does that make sense?
I mean, it was probably just some Hollywood producer, snorting some lines.
you know that's what it's a product of.
Like, I got a good idea.
For sure. Oh my gosh.
Shark and tornadoes.
Can you see the meeting where he's presenting it? And someone's just like, yeah, let's go with that, man. Let's see what we can do with it. Let's see if we can get somebody from 90210 to play in it. I'm sure he's looking for a role. And what was it, Ian Ziering from Beverly Hills 90210? He played in it, the blonde-haired guy. Oh, my God. Yeah, he was looking for a role. I can picture him getting that script, and he's like, oh, my God, this is my comeback, man. Oh, Jesus. Oh, anyway, that's hilarious.
I mean, it must have a huge cult following it. There were 5 films.
I mean, it's crazy. Were there 5 of them?
There's 5 of them.
Oh, my God. That's so bad. So I'm going to say this. We have another segment, but, I mean, we're going to have to close here in a second. This has been a very fun episode, but I have to say this because we had a whole segment we were going to talk about, we were going to introduce, and maybe we'll do it more in another episode, but it's completely connected to this, what we're making fun of, what we're ripping, but it's a segment called Spare Me, okay? And it's just all of the things that we are tired of seeing in movies. All of the things that are done over and over and over again, into the ground, played out repetitiously. I mean, just the things that we want to see less of in movies, which we could then piggyback off of that and talk about what we would love to see more in movies. But it's called Spare Me. And this movie, one of the main things that happened in it that is on the list, on my Spare Me list, okay? And thankfully, they didn't do it far. They didn't do it long. And I'm so glad they didn't, but it still pissed me off, Mike. One of the things that you see in movies, especially in disaster movies, but not only in disaster movies, any kind of action or thriller where there's something major's on the line and they've got to fix the problem or whatever it is, and they have a system malfunction. Oh my God, it happened in Twisters when she's going to press the button to release all the absorbent into the tornado and disrupt it, collapse it or whatever. And she presses the button and it doesn't work. Inevitably, it doesn't work. And then thankfully, within a few seconds, it finally did. Because you know what she did? She fixed it by banging the hell out of it. And then pressed the button and it worked. But listen, I saw that and I thought about that. I had to add it to the list immediately. Do you not see that happen in movies all the time? They're at the part where it's all on the line and they've got to save the world or they've got to save the person. And it's, has to do with the machine. They're either lifting a door or they're exploding something. Usually it has to do with detonations or whatever. And oh my God, how many times do you have to see them press the button or lift the lever and it doesn't work, man?
They use it for 2 scenarios. They're either going to kill somebody off.
Yeah.
Or they're trying to bring tension.
Yeah.
If you notice that, that's what they use it for, tension.
And it's like, I know they're doing it for that. I know that it builds more tension and suspense, and I know it. But it's like, I've already got a stress-filled life. Do you have to continue to add to it? Like, I mean, it's like, I don't want to see it anymore. You know what? I may be boring. Call me boring. But I would like to see the part in the movie where they actually go to press the button or lift the lever, and it actually effing works, man.
Or it could be the movie terrible, and that one guy say, I'm out.
Oh my God. Oh Lord. But is it just me? Is that something that you could see less of in a movie? Does the system malfunction?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
getting old.
It is getting old. I mean, even the whole thing in Armageddon was built on it. They couldn't detonate it, so Bruce Willis has to go in the freaking hole and do it manually. I mean, come on, man. You're killing the diehard guy.
Well, like I said, it's either to kill somebody off, maybe just somebody won't out, or bring attention.
Yeah, you're right. I just am saying right now, spare me. You can spare me the system malfunction trope or whatever you want to call it. It's so irritating. Okay, what's a few more we can do before I flex my 6-degree skills?
Dumb people in scary movies.
Okay, dumb people in scary movies. Yep. All the hilarious horror movie snafus. I mean, they're doing the same thing, and I know that it makes for the story, but what is it, going into the dark room? Like, okay, so the character clearly knows that there's something bad going on, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a bad guy, there's a killer, there's a monster, there's something going on. So the character's aware that context has been provided, and yet this character still is insistent on going into the dark room where the freaking sound is.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
It depends on the color of the character, though.
I'm going to go ahead and say, black people aren't that stupid. I'm just going to say, you do not see it. They're smart when it comes to this horror stuff, man. But I'm telling you, all the white people, they're dumb. It's like they want to go figure it out. Oh, my gosh, let's go see what it's all about.
They act like it's a Scooby-Doo mystery or something.
Oh, that's good. That's so true, man. Oh, my gosh. Okay, what's some more? Okay, how about, this is in a lot of movies, the overly used, incessantly stupid, dumb cops. Oh my gosh. In so many movies, dumb cops. Like, you've got something going on where, like, you've got a character who is either a secret agent of some kind of, off the books, like, government person, or they're like, they're solo, but they're like the good guy trying to save the world or whatever, but they end up like encountering cops who are just doing their job, and they end up like stopping the guy who's trying to save the world. You know what I mean? You see that all the time.
Okay, I thought you was gonna say like talk about James Bond, where he's supposed to be undercover, but everybody know who he is, so I thought you was gonna go with that.
Oh, no. I mean like just really dumb traditional like cops, police officers in the movies.
Okay.
Yeah, like they're in the way. They don't do anything good most of the time. Okay. And then like let's say there's cops and there's like a major catastrophe going on, and there's like a lot of bad guys, and you have a prisoner. They've got a prisoner who's actually not a bad guy, but he's in trouble. He did something dumb or whatever, but he's got experience, right?
Yeah.
And he can help them in the situation that they're in. But the cop refuses to give him a gun because he's a prisoner. Never mind the fact that they're all about to get freaking killed, but you want to not give him a gun because you're a dumb cop. You know what I mean?
Like Bad Boys 3.
Yeah, that happened in that too.
Eventually, he did give his son a gun, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's like, come on, man. Like, but and then of course the Robert Rodriguez movie, Planet Terror. It happened in that movie. It happened in a lot of movies where the cop doesn't want to give the person who can really help a gun because he's a prisoner. It's like, come on, man. Okay.
Well, I can never be too careful. Might shoot you in the back.
Oh my! Don't be on their side, Mike.
You can't be too careful.
Oh my gosh, it's true. You're the voice of reason here. But it's like, come on, man. Like, that would even make for an interesting, unexpected thing. You give the guy the gun, and surprisingly, he kills you. But you know what? He killed the dumb cop off. He did me a favor.
So it's darn if you do, darn if you don't.
Yeah, that's the truth. How about I could do a whole lot less of the dickhead, the a-hole, who gets the last word, taking, like, just mistreating, a weaker or like more scared character, I would like to see the weakling speak up more. I would like to see the actual underdog person get the last word over the a-hole who always gets away with having the last word. You see it happen in a lot of stories and movies.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm so over that. And then, of course, I'm just going to say it. The overused play in the romantic films, comedy or drama, where the love interests just won't communicate clearly to each other saying how they feel. It remains veiled in mystery, which will inevitably lead to a misunderstanding with each other, causing an unnecessary debacle and blow up, which will work perfectly for the Act 3 fixer or redemption in the romantic film. It's like, come on, man. You could make the story a little bit differently.
Well, I mean, you need drama.
Yeah, but you just write a little bit more creatively than that. We've seen it happen so many times. That's why you're good. You're the other side of this balance. You're the devil's advocate. But I mean, listen. I mean, do the whole romantic trope differently. I mean, or it wouldn't be a trope if it was the same one over and over again. Do something different. Write it differently. Write it to where like there are some movies like this, which I appreciate, but they're more kind of like indie flicks, where like in the very beginning, if there's love interest, they literally just openly share everything. I'm talking about like just word vomit, over the top, oversharing, and they get it all out in the open, and then let the mess be sorted out from there. Let the story be kind of like offshoots of what happens when you overshare.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's an idea. How about spare me characters in scenes where there's a lot of action and there's a gunfight or a firefight, and the characters are like fighting for their lives, and they're walking over dead bodies who have perfectly usable guns with ammunition, and they just walk over them and don't pick them up.
Okay, repeat that again.
Okay, and you got a scene. You got a firefight going on. It's an action scene.
Okay.
And there's good guys fighting bad guys, and the good guys who are running out of ammunition, there's dead bodies around that have already been killed.
Yeah.
And they've got their guns.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen in movies them walk over the perfectly usable guns that are on the dead bodies that they just killed.
Yeah.
Like, what's up with that?
Yeah, that's kind of dumb.
I probably am overly analytical when I see this in a movie, but I mean, I remember seeing it the other day. It was a B movie, but I'm like watching this guy who's fighting for his life, and there's like 2 or 3 dead bodies there, and there's guns. It's like, does he already know that they're completely empty? There's no more rounds? I know he doesn't know it.
Nah,
Pick up the freaking gun.
Ain't nobody counting bullets. So,
you know what I'm saying? It's just like there are guns there, and he's walking over them, and he's like saying, "Oh my gosh, I have nothing I can fight with. How about the freaking gun on the dead body?" I mean, geez. Oh, I know people are like, what is your deal, Brandon? Oh man.
I need to take a chill pill.
I need to take a chill pill. Oh my gosh, I got so many more I could say.
Just do 2 more.
How about? Oh, this is a good one. The characters who refuse to believe the truth in a situation, incessantly remaining in denial, even with all the evidence screaming at them. The ones who also refuse to believe the other character who's trying to explain the truth for their benefit and just to be believed. Those characters are infuriating.
Yeah,
you see that happen a lot. It's like the truth is staring you in the face and you won't believe what's going on. It's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, let's just kill those characters off. Can we just kill them off? Please, screenwriters, write that in the story. And I'm going to just say it right here. I'll save the rest and just get into this one real quick before I flex my 6 degree skills. I'm just say it. I know that you and I both have a lot to say about this. But probably the thing that we could say spare me the most right now is we could use a whole lot less of the agenda pushing in movies. Sadly, many of the movies now have become just platforms to prop up a certain agenda, and the untainted purity of movie storytelling has become, in many ways, lost. Platforms to prop up an agenda. That's why I love when you can see a movie like Twisters.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about somebody's ideology and political agenda being pushed. It's just about the purity of the story. This is survival. It's tornadoes. It's fun. You know what I mean? That's what we go to the movies for.
Yeah.
But we need more movies like that. But what is it now? Like with a lot of movies, you've got to have this agenda pushed and shoved down your throat.
Yeah.
You know, I think we've talked about this before.
Yeah, we talked about this.
I mean, it's just, I'll end my soapbox with this. You know, movies are supposed to be a place to go to escape all that nonsense and witness a magical story unfold. Don't get me wrong, I'm not delusional. Movies have always been a medium to communicate different ideas and thoughts that the writers and creators of the stories have had or have. You'll never fully be able to separate the art from the artist. Part of who they are will always come through in their art. But what we're dealing with now is not that at all. It's a completely different monster where it's not about a story at all. It's like, let's figure out what agenda or idea we want to push and then look for some lame story to fit it in there to serve as a backdrop to push the thing that's already been pre-planned. How about you spare me all that? I'm done. I mean, am I off there about that?
Oh, no, you're right.
Okay. I feel a little better.
Like I said, we don't go to the movies for that.
Exactly. Well, man, listen, this has been a fun episode. I know I had a bunch of rants, but man, I feel better. I feel good. Mike, thanks for the therapy, man. The Real Cinephiles, also a therapy session. Okay, so we're going to close with some 6 Degrees of Movie Bacon. This has been a great episode. If you didn't see it on the first episode, this will be a regular thing where I demonstrate for you the challenge of connecting actor to actor who have never played in movies together. I'm going to connect them just by using other actors they've played in with. And I'm going to do it in 6 degrees, 6 connections or less. 6 degrees of movie bacon. I think that we should fry up like a good batch of bacon for one of these segments, Mike. I can tell you'd really be into that. Oh, wait, you wouldn't change your veganness for that, would you? Even though it would be such a good,
vegan, I'm kosher
segment.
Too.
What?
I'm not just vegan, I'm kosher too.
Oh my gosh, that's really bad. Yeah, forget the bacon. We may just have to change the bacon term completely. Okay, so I'm about to do this thing. He's going to give me 2 names. I hope it's challenging this time.
Morgan Freeman. And Will Smith.
Morgan Freeman and Will Smith.
Let's start the timer.
Let's see how easy this is. Okay, I'll do it. You want to see a flex? Let me give it to you like this right here. Morgan Freeman was in Deep Impact with Téa Leoni. Téa Leoni was in Bad Boys 1 with Will Smith. Done. Booyah. Ooh.
All right.
Did I just say booyah?
Yeah.
That felt good. How about another one? Make it harder. Give me somebody a little bit more obscure. You got something?
All right.
Did y'all catch the connection? I connected Morgan Freeman and Will Smith by using the actors they played in other movies with. So just to recap, Morgan Freeman was in Deep Impact with Téa Leoni, and then Téa Leoni was in Bad Boys with Will Smith. One connection. There's one connection. Okay. What's the next one?
Tom Cruise and Angelina Jolie.
Okay. Tom Cruise and Angelina Jolie. Let's see. This is an interesting one right here. I don't know why. Tom Cruise. I don't know why it's sometimes challenging with two actors that have been in so many movies. Let's go with. Okay. 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 All right. I'm coming. Bear with me. Stay with me, folks. You gotta be kidding me.
Was it too hard?
I don't know why this one's so weak. Trying to find the connecting piece. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise was in. Tom Cruise was in. Oh man, time's ticking down. Let's see. Tom Cruise was in. Which one do I want to go with? I can do this.
You want to add an extra 2 minutes?
Let's see. No, I got this. Tom Cruise was in. Okay. Tom Cruise was in. Oh, I got this, baby. Tom Cruise was in Top Gun Maverick with Miles Teller. Okay? Miles Teller was in War Dogs with Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill was in Moneyball with Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt was in Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Angelina Jolie. Connected. Tom Cruise and Angelina Jolie. Yes, you're welcome. Woo!
4 seconds to spare.
How many seconds?
24
seconds. That took a little bit longer than I'd like, folks, but I did it nonetheless. My pride was slightly hurt that I couldn't do it in under a minute, but I'll survive. Well, I tell you what, that was fun. Again, if you want to get involved in 6 Degrees of Movie Bacon, try it out yourself. Maybe you're not all freaks of nature like me with that weird autistic brain, but listen, it's fun. And if you want to think you can trip me up, you think you can challenge me, you can email us the challenge. If you just email the Real Cinephiles and you say challenge in the subject line or 6 degrees, I'll know what it means and I won't look at it. But if you really don't want to trust me in the honor system, then you can email Mike Griff 21@gmail.com. MikeGriff 21@gmail.com. You can email us and try and stump me if you can. I don't think you can. It hasn't happened yet. It's weird. But anyway, this has been episode 2 of The Real Cinephiles. We've had a lot of fun. We hope you have too. Again, you can find us on Spotify, Amazon, iHeart, YouTube. Please, if you're watching these videos and you enjoy it, like, subscribe, and share. We really appreciate it. We appreciate you showing the love. Me and Mike love doing this. We love movies, and we are looking forward to the next episode. Deadpool and Wolverine is coming, and we can't wait. And in the meantime, I'm going to re-indoctrinate Mike into the Marvel Universe again. He's going to watch Deadpool this week. You guys should too. Rewatch Deadpool 1 and 2. They're great. Anyway, we're excited. Thanks for joining us. Have a great one. No, I think a better ending would be, we really had a great time. For real. Oh my God, I can't believe I said that.
That was corny.
That was so bad. We'll see you next time.